Welcome to Canines for America. My name's Ryan, and today we're going to talk about the four tempers. Now this is a 101 version, intro. We're just going to be bringing you guys in to the philosophy of the four tempers and how we utilize the four tempers here at Canines for America. Now there's four basic temperaments. This philosophy is about a 2,500-year-old philosophy, and it's known as to know thyself is what the four tempers is. The four temperaments are choleric, sanguine, melancholic, and phlegmatic. Now each temperament has a dark side, has a light side, and also brings a fundamental disposition along with it. Now, what do I mean and how do we utilize the four tempers in our canine training? It's the very first thing that we do. We evaluate the dog's temperament. Based off of the dog's temperament, we'll dictate what training method we use with that canine. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's take, for example, I have a choleric canine. So I think in some of our earlier videos, if we have ourself, I told you there's 50% of the DNA we can't do anything about. It's innate. It's what you're born with. And the 50% we can shape. But before, we really never knew what that 50% is, kind of an X value. We don't know what that is. But here at Canines for America, we're able to identify that 50%. So say we identify that 50% of the puppy from day one as a choleric puppy, a choleric canine. That's the temperament. Well, what choleric means, choleric is this central nervous system of that canine is just through the roof. If we take a heart rate monitor, let's envision a heart rate monitor, and let's put that heart rate at an even beep, right? That line, nice and linear. Well, with a choleric canine, that dog, the neurons inside that dog's brain are firing constantly with any type of stimulation. It could be you sneezed, the UPS driver comes to the front door, whatever it might be. Any type of stimulation sends that dog past the 10. Now, once we identify that that dog is a 10, now we understand what training methods we must use on that 10. The next one would be a sanguine dog. Now, a sanguine dog is very level on that heart rate monitor. Boom, the stimulation comes in, whether it's a ball, that dog will fire. That sanguine dog will fire now to a 9, to a 10, but come right back down. Where our choleric is still through the roof. If we have a melancholic dog, depending on the stem, that melancholic dog now might not be so level, they might be dipping down a little bit. So if we're taking a threshold from 0 to 10, sanguine's always at a 7, our cholerics are at 10s, our melancholic is probably going to find themselves right around a 5. So getting them to fire, we can get them to fire easily to a 7, to an 8, but then they're going to come back down, and they'll come back down low. Again, it'll dictate what training method we use with a melancholic. And then we have our phlegmatics. Our phlegmatics, at the end of the day, their central nervous system is very, very sluggish. It's very, very low. They're sitting at a 1, they're sitting at a 2. I can pull out the funky chicken out of my training bag. I can pull out any type of a high-level stem, and that phlegmatic dog really isn't going to fire high. It's very difficult to train and to work with a phlegmatic dog. It takes very kind of a specialty, a lot of work to get a phlegmatic dog to really become a working dog. Now, once we have our four tempers, we have it diagnosed. If we're working with our choleric canine, now we really understand what training tools we're going to bring to the situation. If you have I see it all the time. Choleric canines are very, very just in their natural, innate state of being, very hard to control. They're the dog that drives you crazy. They're the dog that is always voicing. They're always running around like crazy. So what we see is we'll see people, and we talked about it earlier in our tools episode, an e-collar. People think, I got to put an e-collar on that dog. The problem with that is you just took that choleric canine to a 15. They're not listening to you. You stim them again. You took them to a 20. You must be very, very careful when working with a choleric canine on what training method you apply. So again, and just a quick wrap up, guys, with the Four Tempers, the Four Tempers is now going to uncover that 50% that we've really never known before, and that it's going to dictate now how we go about shaping that other 50. We need to self-diagnose that canine. Once we get that temperament diagnosis, now we know exactly how to shape and how to mold our canine during their training. Again, guys, thanks for watching. Please go ahead and click and subscribe. Leave any comments or comments, concerns in our comment section. We'll make sure that we try to address them as quickly as we can. And again, guys, thanks for watching, but make sure you go and you watch our 102 on the Four Tempers and our 103, as we're going to start getting more in depth in exactly how it all works with the central nervous system. Again, thanks for watching.